starting to the top right. We have our Zerg player in blue. It is not on screen just yet, but here we jumped in and we have Jaedong once again. We have the Tyrant. Yet the ASUS ROG tournament, e.g. Jaedong. A 1-1 situation going up against the bottom left Zerg player for Team ASUS. It is Scarlett.
It's getting rather packed in here as the attendants of Northcon are starting to watch this final, realizing that there's something truly interesting and magical going on here between these two players.
On top of things, I actually promised everyone t-shirts after the game.
Okay, that helps too.
So right now with the opening, we don't see any kind of earlier pools once more. That was something that they restricted to the first game. We have now the third coming up with both of them having the first Overlord out there, the first that they build. And let's see if we see mirrored builds again or if we have a small deviation here. This is kind of the time in the series where mind games starting to take effect. When you have the 1-1 situation and both of them are wondering, are you going to be aggressive? Are you going to try to go into the late game? What you going to do here? And it looks like both of them are heading into a hedge first once more.
Yep, it's not like they agreed on doing this or something. Let's only test our strengths in exactly the same build, because people always say that TVZ is about build order wins, and we're not gonna let that happen. I don't think that's something that they agreed upon.
You know, you talked a little bit about a potential 7-game series between them, and it's not the first time that they met each other in Heart of the Swarm. They actually had one best-of-5 series in the second season of the WCS Premier League in America, and back then it was a 3-2 victory for Jaedong. So a very close series, and it went over the entire distance. We could see that today. This is kind of a bit like the revenge matter, or the opportunity for revenge that Scarlett has. And it could definitely come down to this once again. And we talked a lot about Jaedong, we talked a lot about his statistics, but let's have a quick look at Scarlett and the stats for her for the entirety of Heart of the Swarm. Not only looking at the matches that she played here at the ASUS ROG tournament. We have her with 31 maps actually played in Heart of the Swarm offline against Zerg, and she won 18 of them, a 58% win ratio. Not quite on the same level that Jaedong has accomplished here, but still pretty significant, and definitely something where she can be really proud of. And she's one of those players that gains a lot of momentum, which we've seen in this tournament already.
Yeah, it just seems like her good cheer and her confidence, even when she's being modest, cannot be stopped at this tournament. There's something about this tournament which is really making her shine. All that travel, she said it made her tired. She said it made her weary from all that, and she's looking forward to her break, and was worried that maybe it might affect her shape. Well, it did, in a good way. All that travel, all the impressions of the recent tournaments that she's had are somehow all coming together there in her mind, and are allowing her to play some amazing games here.
And the same is of course true for Jaedong, who is going into another Baneling nest a little bit quicker here. And especially the series, I have to highlight that once again that we saw against Innovation. It was so close, and both of them definitely deserved the win there. But it was Jaedong who won that last 5th match, which was pretty chaotic. A lot of stuff happening there, and both of them just going to the limit. And here we have for Scarlett and for Jaedong on the Relic Watcher, on a map where you have a big ramp to defend at the natural, the Baneling Nest, where they want to make sure that they do not run into any kind of speedling aggression without a Baneling Nest. And it's actually Jaedong who once again gets a lot of Zerglings into the game and wants to be the aggressor here.
Yeah, and not squeezing in any drones right now. There we go. Always happens, doesn't it? So yep. 4 more drones coming. Currently Scarlett has a 6-drone lead. So he definitely has more Zerglings than her, starting to move across. 2 Banelings being morphed defensively by Scarlett, as well as a Spine Crawler. Nice Queen block there.
Yeah, really well done. Double Spine Crawler for Scarlett now that she realizes what's happening. The first one was started a little bit earlier. She saw the Lings moving out and immediately decided that 1 is not going to be enough. The Queen is being attacked. Banelings trying to go for a connect here. The Zerglings just zipping around, trying to maybe snipe a drone, maybe 2, but always having to dodge the Banelings. And they are actually trapped here. That could be a massive connect. Taking the first one out. The Queen dies in the process. Well done here.
But look at this, Jaedong, he didn't morph in any Banelings. He had the nest, but he didn't do it. He started his lair as the attack was starting, and that is how he managed now to have the 40% progress lead on that lair, something that Scarlett had last game with a 50% lead. So maybe he now will be able to get the faster Mutalisk and get some important snipes out.
I actually like that trade very much for Jaedong. Yes, the Baneling connected, but she lost one Baneling, she lost 1 or 2 drones, a few Zerglings, and the Queen.
Yeah.
And that was the important part. The limited production for this amount of time, this early in the game, 7 minutes in. And as you already said, Jaedong has this lead in tech as well. It's a small one, but it's there.
Yeah, definitely. For a while has been on one Queen. Now finally the Queen finishes again, so she still has to start that inject, wait for this larva to pop, and also of course that Spire timing. Spire has started for Jaedong. He might be looking to start his third base soon, knowing that he can probably defend it with Mutalisk. There we go, the Spire for her as well. Not as much of a lead as the Spire on the Spire as I expected.
Well, the thing is that we do not have, well, we have 10 versus 12 Zerglings. The harvester count is the same, and the third is now coming in. So he knows that his tech is a little bit faster, and both of them will want to get the third base. Here we go. We have Scarlett immediately moving in with a drone on her own, gets that third base, and this is what it's all about. Especially when you're, I mean, in CVZ in general, but if you go for Mutalisk, it is so important. It's about the gas. It's about mining as much as possible, getting maybe 1 or 2 additional Mutalisks, and then the fights are gonna just snowball. You will get that momentum in a Mutalisk fight as soon as you have the superior numbers, and that will just grant you a win once that you can really engage with your opponent. So the gas is an important factor here, and Jaedong is trying to protect this third base already with Overlord creeps right in the middle and putting those spine crawlers in position.
Yeah, and of course another aspect to that as well is that he can start his Zerg Flyer carapace faster. Not doing it quite yet though, there we go, but there really isn't that much time anymore between the Spire finishing for Scarlett and the time that that carapace started, so it's not really an upgrade advantage that he has a very large timing window for to exploit.
What we also see on the minimap is that the Overlords are all moving back for Scarlett. She wants to save them, she knows that Mutalisks are coming, but now she has to deal with those drillings that are in the natural in the main base. And a few of the Harvesters already going down. In total, Jaedong was able to take down 8 Harvesters in this game.
Ouch, that's really quite painful. She had to use her drones to defend against those Zerglings. Kind of messed up her gas economy for a while as well in the natural, so nice pickup there by Jaedong, and something that Scarlett definitely would have liked to avoid.
She started mining gas also a little bit later than Jaedong, and not a great lead, but it might give him the 1 additional Mutalisk, and now Scarlett trying to take down a few Overlords, but she has to be very careful, since now we have 9 Mutalisks for Jaedong, only 4 for Scarlett, so she has to pay attention that those Overlords are not being protected by Mutalisks.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, she has to move back now. Is she gonna lose a Mutalisk again? This stutter step forward micro by Jaedong, and it looks like he might get one. How is this possible to keep shooting and keep moving closer? Oh, and it survives.
Just barely, but it's there, and here comes the transfuse immediately. The Queen being really helpful here, but the exposure on all of those additional Overlords, and bam, the supply block here. Scarlett is starting 4 Overlords right away, but she has to wait for quite some time until she can produce additional air units.
Wanted to try and find a hole again with those Zerglings, but Jaedong was right on top of that, starting to chase it away. But these Banelings, will they be able to get some connections on the drones here? There isn't a lot of drones here, but she might be able to kill some gas income.
I don't think that was worth it. She killed 3 workers here, and she lost how many Banelings? 5 in total, I think?
4. 4 Banelings for a few Zerglings and 3 drones.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but I don't know.
Not really worth it.
Yeah.
So not really the trade that she was hoping for. She was hoping to do it really a lot more than that, and Jaedong immediately put a few units back into gas. Now we have that Mutalisk battle again. Scarlett actually with the superior numbers, but the +1 armor upgrade is completed. It's completed for both of them, and Scarlett is the one who starts +1 attack. Queen helping out, getting sniped. Nice move by Jaedong. Taking down that Queen, trying to limit production. 3 versus 2 Queens at this point. The Mutalisk battle is starting here, and this is going to be a really close one, especially with additional Queens probably going to move in just a few seconds for Scarlett.
18 Mutas for Jaedong against 17 from Scarlett. Big Zergling attack here in the main base. Killed a lot of drones already.
Oh my god, 29 in total. That's additional 22 to the 8 that he killed already earlier. And Scarlett is suddenly 30 supply behind. This is gonna do quite the number on her.
Yeah, this is really quite bad for her. And it's kind of the same move that Scarlett did against Jaedong before. While fighting with those Mutalisks, a distraction. Zerglings going into the main base, and one can only wonder if those 4 Banelings she used aggressively somehow were positioned defensively. I know it's kind of wishful thinking, kind of conjecture, but those banelings could maybe have been useful in the defense.
Muta versus Muta is oftentimes like a game of chicken. When you think you cannot really keep up with your opponent any longer, then you usually try to transition out. And Scarlett is the one who decides to go into an infestation pit. That will help her. One infester, if he gets the fungal off, she can force a fight. She's still going to produce Mutalisks, and she has that advantage in upgrades. Jaedong is just now starting his own +1 attack upgrade.
So 9 drones finishing. Finally she caught up in the drone count again, as she will be looking at identical numbers, but unfortunately for her, 30 Zerglings less, 6 Mutalisks less, and Jaedong is moving across. It'd be okay if it was a passive game, but that's not the case here right now.
It's not the case. Lings into the main base again and into the third. He is everywhere. He's doing damage, taking down the queens. He going into the main base, sniping another one, going to town on those drones too. And the Mutalisk numbers, it's 33 in his favor against 25. GG! Scarlett realizing that there's nothing she can do anymore. Too much damage done by Jaedong.